Hello and welcome to another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix, of another furry visual novel. This one, straight for once. Hyena. That being a Changeling Tale, which, I don't completely cover that. So, if you want to play this game, there's a demo on Steam, but it's also available on Steam for, I think, a tad less than 20 bucks. So let's read the synopsis at least. Fantasy and reality collide in Changeling Tale, a story-rich visual novel about finding one's true self. Also, the music seems to be getting a bit louder, so I'm going to boop this. It do be like that sometimes. Yeah, a little bit more. Finding one's true self, ... and true love. Help a young man returning from war rebuild his life, kindle new romances, and reveal a secret that will forever transform the lives of those closest to him. Literally. So, yeah, I think that's everything you need to say at the beginning of a visual novel, so let's reset my face. And start. Also, set in... wait. Yes. Sure. I can just hide that stuff. Also, I guess this is in Irelandish? I wonder if this is, like, First World War? A chilling wind brushes my skin as I huddle against the trench wall. I'm sure it's a sure sign that winter will be on us soon. I swear I can read. I pull my legs in closer to brace myself against the cold, and my boots squish loudly as they drag through the mud. A star flare arcs lazily across the sky. My thoughts drift to that first winter when I disembarked in France, wondering if the war would be over before I even made it to the front. Yeah, they thought it would be over by Christmas. Hardly. The heart of that enthusiastic boy may have died 4 years ago, but I live on. 4 years, living in a nightmare. In many ways, tonight is no different. The distant thuds of shell fire, the occasional crack of a rifle shot piercing the air, the devil's lullaby. But the fire is sporadic and rote as dawn approaches. There is to be a ceasefire today, or so we're told. Rumors are circulating that it will go into effect across the whole front. Could the nightmare finally be coming to an end? I tell myself I should feel joy, relief, hope, something. But those feelings elude me. The other lads are silent as well. Silence and emptiness. Is that all the future holds? No answers are carried on the whistling wind. Ooh, and let me just turn this thing to busy. Sorry. I was like, probably should do that. My hand fumbles inside my soaked overcoat to produce a letter. I've read it a dozen times, and I read it again. Dearest Malcolm, damn, it's cursive. I'll try my best. It is with a heavy heart that I write you. Just yesterday received a word that your beloved grandfather has passed into the lands of our Heavenly Father. There may he rest finally in peace. Our grandmother assures us that she will be fine, but we know that whilst life on the farm is quiet, it's also full of duty. We fear she will be unable to make ends meet without assistance, particularly in these troubled times. She does not wish to be a burden, but Malcolm, please consider returning home to live in the country with your grandmother. Once your tour has completed, she would love you to the moon and back for it. Your mother and I think after you or think often of you. Be safe. Your proud father, ever, Bruce. Why doesn't Bruce go to the farm? You said grandmother? Yeah. I mean, we're kind of in a war right here, but yeah, after the war. Especially since there's lovely girls that might be a wolf. Curt as always. While the other boys get parcels from their families, I only receive the odd letter here or there. Posting package taxes already stretched, and already posting packages taxes and already stretched the budget. Okay, now I understand that sentence. Mum and Pa said once they moved into the city. Getting out of Archnacraig. Hey, I'm English, not Irish. I can't read that well. And I can't read Irish that well. And away from their small world was all I ever wanted. Things seemed so much clearer then, when the war was fresh. Now, with a glimmer with a glimmer of the lights, I swear I can read. Breathe. Now with a glimmer of the end in sight, the future is as muddy as the damn trench we all call home. I try to imagine myself with discharge papers in hand, sailing back across the channel. Where am I headed? To the city? To vie for a factory job with all the other returned soldiers? To school? To whittle my days away behind books I can't afford? Or after everything, am I really destined to spend my days back at the old family farm? I'm no clairvoyant. There's no vision of the future, only view of the same pockmarked parapet I've stared at for months. Parapet, I think. Resignation sets in. Really, what difference does it make? What's left to lose? My heart skips a beat. I shouldn't have asked that question, or at least knocked on wood, you know? Dirt patters onto my helmet as if to rattle me out of my thoughts, and I curse myself for considering a future I may not yet live to see. My grip tightens on my rifle, and I hunker down, counting the precious minutes until I can set the weapon aside for good. If there's a ceasefire in effect, you'd think that they would stop the artillery like a while before that. Once I knew he was returning home, I was flooded with relief. My life could begin again. Malcolm was safe. That was all that mattered. He was alive. I could only hope he was unharmed, and that no further damage would ever come to him. Changeling Tale. Now I see that there's that thing above the screen. That vexes me, very much so. I don't know why it's up there. It's the Kotick Note. Chapter 1, Homecoming. Well, when we go to the next screen, let's save and then yeet out right quick and then back in. Let's turn that down. Do that. Sorry, for some reason this game is having a hard time with OBS. Or OBS is having a hard time with the game. It do be like that. OBS? Come on, you can do it. Please. There we go. Discard. There we go. And reset my face. Well, there we go, it's all fixed. Almost home, Hazel. I lean forward and pat my new companion as we trot along the ridge towards the village. It's been quite a long ride from Southcorn, where I picked her up at auction. The mare offers a disapproving snort, as if to say, this is clearly not her home. Oh, she lives in Upton von Hale. Home. I weigh that word in my mind. Is it truly my home anymore? I've trod up and down this road almost all my life, but that feels like it was ages ago. All around us, the foothills roll musically, like lines in a songbook. I'd like to think I could still play a few notes on the flutes my father whittled for me out of pine when I was a wee lad. Just a little wee lad. Also, I guess let me reset my face, just in case. The memories are flooding back, alright, but they feel disconnected, as if they are from someone else's life. Like sitting in an audience at a moving picture. It do be like that sometimes when you reminisce. Still, I can't help but feel emotional from the familiar scenery. The bluebells and heather are in full bloom, though it is May and still the season of cold spells. It's almost enough to quell the memories of the desolate landscape I left behind. A fresh start and a clean slate. Maybe this can be home once again. Stag and Nanny? In Freehouse. The sky is getting dark as we finally make our way into the Arc na Crish. The humble cluster of aging dwellings beckons us in, a cozy oasis in the raw landscape of the highlands. As we navigate the well-trodden path, I realize that something feels off. The tiny village was never much for hustle and bustle outside of market day, but apart from the crunch of gravel under Hazel's hooves, the whole place is eerily silent and still. I shake my head. The war's touched here too. Then, how many men would never return? There's a cat. A black cat emerges from an alley and peers at us, as if to punctuate the gloom. It's a little white and gray patch right there too. Gran used to say black cats were drawn by freshly departed souls, and I can't help but shiver. Hazel seems a little spooked too, but once we trod past, she relaxes back into a stroll. Oh, a kitty. We round the bend and finally hear signs of life from the building ahead. The stag and Nanny, of course, definitely merry even the toughest times. My stomach rumbles remind me that I have not eaten since the single biscuit at the train stop this morning. Oh, and heck, I completely forgot. If you want me to play this game, tell me and I'll add a point, put it up higher on the list. A pint and hearty stew would sure fill every craving inside me right now. The music and laughter are inviting. A short detour won't do any harm, will it? After all, it's been months since the letter. Surely Gran can wait a few hours more. I slide off Hazel and hoop her reins tightly around the post. Tightly because I'd quickly learned she is a sour girl, almost petty in her erratic behavior, and apparently why I received her at such a fair bid. She glares at me disapprovingly. Hey, she's looking at me with those big blue eyes and disapproving look. Buck up, I'll be treating you well enough. It's just a quick stop, love. I'll be out in a jiff, and sober too. She huffs skeptically. You'll always be drunk. Well, probably. Mostly. You lose reputation with horse. As I open the door, the clouds of smoke part, revealing a comfortable scene. God, how I missed it. It's a regular Wednesday night at the Stag and Nanny. The noise of tired, happy drunkards is music to my ears. Indeed, the barkeep is one of the loudest, mingling among his chums at the tables. Before I know it, a little sprite of a woman approaches me. Wispy tufts of brown hair peek out from under the large, floppy hat. She smiles shyly at me and reaches out towards my arm. I always love girls that have glasses. Welcome home, soldier. Oh, why? Thank you. Yeah. She blushes. I swear I can read. She blushes, and her voice becomes quiet and drowned out by the commotion. So, how does it feel to be? I'm sorry. She blushes even harder, and takes a deep breath. But before she can finish her thought, I am grabbed by the barkeep. His handshake is firm and benevolent. Another one home. Good to see you, lad. And you, a sight for sore eyes, looking sharp as ever. I tried a mustache like that. I looked very British doing that. Looked like a beef eater. Bulgar pulls me in and gives me a hearty slap on the back. We're all right and proud of you, my boy. It's good to have you back. It's a relief to be here. I mean it. All my worries have wafted away, mingling into the room's smoke-filled haze. Bulgar steps back and studies me from head to toe. It feels like an officer's inspection, and instinctively my body snaps the attention. He nods. You were but a wee lad when I served you your first brew. Let me pour you another. A bear for a man. As Bulgar heads to the bar, others gather around to congratulate and welcome me back. It dawns me that I'm still in uniform, identifiable as a homecomer, a survivor. I spot familiar welcomings throughout the bar, and wonder who I might remember. I hadn't seen any of my friends since before the war. They separated most of the recruits from the town into class regiments and scattered us leagues apart. I wonder if that would be a smart idea or a bad idea. I mean, on the one hand, if there's a disastrous front, not everybody in the town would be wiped out. But on the other hand, I don't know, people might fight harder or be in a bit better spirits if they're with fellow kin and stuff. I mean, it's not like it's going to be that one situation where, well, except one front completely destroyed, but like the thing where 4 brothers die on the same ship kind of thing. Anyways, there are a few recognizable faces. Older gentlemen I know by looks, not by name, but most of the pub goers are an elderly sort. Absent are the lads my age with whom I'd raised a ruckus. I tell myself they're still overseas, waiting for their ticket home. Let's not dwell on the alternative. Come to think of it, I didn't recognize the brown-haired girl from town either. Wait, had she left already? I might turn up the music just a tad bit more, since now it's a bit quiet here. Boop, boop, but only a tad. My stomach grumbles again, reminding me why I came. I negotiate through a gauntlet of handshakes and backpacks to an empty seat table. Before I know it, Bulgar places a pint in front of me. A deliberately flaky birdie appears soon after by a gentleman doffing his cap with his compliments. I couldn't get used to this kind of treatment. Ravenous, I quickly down the pastry and the beverage. A heavy flavor clings to my throat, deliciously comforting. It's good to be back. People around me are yammering about politics and work, weather and loved ones. Then I spot a glimpse of red in the crowd, and all at once the din hushes. I guess maybe this was either made by somebody from Ireland or somebody doing Irish words, I guess. Or speak. I can't think of the word that would mean it. But, you know, because some of these words are less than notable for me. Or memorable. The gas lamps become dim, and the crowd collectively turns to the back. A pixie of a girl steps into the light. A flapper? I can't believe my eyes. A flapper? Here? In this backwater? So I guess a flapper's a dancer? But I didn't think there would... I guess, is it a profession, or is it like... just somebody has that kind of style and just dancing? Anyways, the village has certainly changed if it's attracting this sort of girl. I can't tell from the crowd's expressions that they are mixed between feelings about that too. Wait, I can tell. She sets down her cigarettes, From another corner, I hear the cackle of the record being placed on the Victorla. Victorola? I don't know. Tiny notes fill the pub. They remind me of some songs I hear coming from the American camp while we all waited for our boats home. There's a pause in the rhythm, and she begins her act. Her crystal voice and swaying dress break open the room. It's a song about dancing in the dunes, out in the Orient under a crescent moon, and it's like nothing I've seen or heard before. What is this noise? It's enchanting. Her red lips shine as she smirks and chirps her way through the tune, toying with the audience. She's a flirt, and a stunning one at that. I beckon Bulgare over. The pint, lad? Aye, and something extra. Send the flapper a whiskey grenadine? Extra cherries, on me. He laughs as he collects some empties. Enjoying the new entertainment, eh? Aye, she's been a hit with a lot of the regulars. Less so with the stodgy ones. One whiskey grenadine coming up. Mind, we've not had a batch of cherries come in since the damn U-boats moved in off the Hebrides? But I'll see what I can do for you, and the fine lady. With a laugh, he spins away, and I find myself lost again in the flapper's exotic twirls. What a sight she is. She's got a butt that won't quit. Or I guess to translate it to these times, man, look at her gams. Actually, I might use that for a clip. I stupidly didn't think of taking a picture of the timestamp when I thought of it at a different time. I completely lost where that was. Anyways, eventually the performance comes to an end. One last pirouette, a tease of a courtesy, and the crowd bursts into hollers and applause. As she prepares the next dance, a few older fans press closer to this unusual creature. I can see the flapper's face fall all the way from here. Fortunately, Bulgare pushes his way through, handing off the cocktail and whispering into her ear. She lights up, takes a drink, and starts sipping gingerly. Before I know it, she spied me as I was walking my way. No, wait. Starts walking my way? And is walking my way. I thought I was walking away. I swear I can read. Do you like my hair, soldier? I just bobbed it. I guess it's also maybe 20s speak? No, I guess it'd be 30s? I'm unsure. Or maybe 10s. What's this? No, I'll do that later. She touches the bottom of her short hairstyle. I don't know what or who Bob is, so I agree, since her hair looks lovely. I do. It's quite fetching. Fetching? You're love, aren't you? Suppose so. Say. Hey. You first. Go ahead, ladies first. Thanks for the drink. You're welcome. Care to join me? I tap the seat next to mine. The flapper sides in next to me and downs the drink in 2 long, slow sips. She licks her lips. Thirsty, eh? You have time for another? Would love to, but avid man Bulgare doesn't give me much time for a break. She winks at the barkeep, who nods knowingly. I'm back on stage. The flapper bounces off to the floor as the Victorla starts up another tune. She sings, spins, and shimmies with her red bobbing. I finish up the second pint and decide against the third, as the memory of my promise to Hazel is already getting fuzzy. I work my way through the bar to settle my tab, but Bulgaria refuses payment. I earned it, he says. Giving him my heartfelt thanks, I head towards the door, turning to give the dance girl one last smile and nod. She calls out to me over the music. Glad you're home, soldier. See you soon. See you soon? I hope so. I wave goodbye, smitten with the old pub and its new inhabitants. Night has fallen as Hazel and I approach the old homestead. I feel a pinch of guilt at this late hour as I see the small silhouette framed against the open door. Gran is outside on the front steps, sweeping at almost nothing, yet dust still scatters about. She looks up at me and waves. I return the gesture. Thankfully, my journey is over at long last. I'm sorry I've kept you waiting. Close now, I can see she looks as tired as I feel, but there are tears of joy in her eyes. Don't be sorry, Malcolm. It's enough that you're here. I never knew if I would see you again. Okay, I'm not going to do that all the time. I dismount Hazel, who graciously allowed me to ride her back from town without bother. She nearly shakes free from my grasp. Gran helps rein in the mare and secure her to the housepost. A feisty one, isn't she? Oh, dearie, are these really all your things? She weighs a small rucksack that has been slung across Hazel's back. They patted me on the back and sent me on my way without much more than clothes on my back. But they're sharp clothes, are they not? I pat off the dust, straighten my collar, and strike a goofy salute. My grandmother laughs. How are you, Gran? Dear Agnes responds with a loving embrace, much stronger than I imagined she could muster. Oh, she's a farm girl. She could lift an entire cow if she wanted to. Her limbs are so frail, but all muscle and sinew. Her head barely reaches my chest. There is so little left here. To have you back is a miracle all to myself. I stroke her head, her silken white hair, as she weeps softly. It's my pleasure. We hold each other for a little while longer, sharing in the profound feelings of relief and reunion. Then she pushes me inside. Come, come in before you catch a cold. My senses are overwhelmed by the sights, smells, and sounds of my childhood. A crackling fire, a bubbling pot of stew on the stove, the simple decor of country living, which, definitely has those, plates up here. But maybe those are the fine plates and not decoration plates. Sure, a few stones have come loose, and holes are forming between the rafters, so I can see my future plans already. But by and large, nothing's changed, except how empty the nest has become. I'm sorry about Granddad. How have you been managing? She turns from the stove and waggles her ladle at me. We'll have none of that tonight, young man. A weary traveler should not dwell on what's behind us. Despite the nosh at the pub, I welcome the bowl of stew Gran placed in front of me. It tastes even better than I remembered. She pours me a whiskey to down it all, and every part of me is warmed through. Tonight you'll sleep well, in a warm bed, every night now, for as long as you want it. She laughs. Even if that be after I leave this earth. Gran, what a thing to say. But it's a true thing. Something I realized after your mom and dad moved to the city, and your grandfather passed. This life we live is finite. I cherish all of it now, as you must as well. God, I've been thinking way too much of death recently. And, you know, how everything's finite. It is kind of tiring, you know? It's as if she has been feeling around for my soul and knew where to look for it. She hit right on the spot on the first try. Yes, I know all too well. I take her hand in mine, both of us tipsy from food, drink, and good company. Let's have this moment here. Grandmother pulls me close again and holds me in a way Mum used to. I don't know if I could ever bear leaving this table. We laugh, we cry, and we stay up late into the night. Are we on time? Okay. Hello. Now, while that's there, let's see, what do we have when it comes to, like, there's like a wolf. Oh, let's see. Changeling. Sorry that I'm doing this in the middle of the thing. Changeling? Okay. I thought I saw something somewhere, because I remember seeing, like, a bunch of pictures of it, because there's, like, a wolf. I think there's a cow lady? Oh, wait, it would be on Steam. Right. Can I pull up Steam without it? Okay. Cool. Store. Really? Okay. Or, oh, Changeling? Eh, whatever, we'll do that later. I wake up to the sound of a kettle coming to boil. The sun has yet to fully rise, but I can smell the tea brewing and something freshly baked. It's a challenge getting myself up out of bed. The goose down quilt, even with its bare threads, is so warm and comfortable. I've not slept so well since, well, the last time I slept here. New glossary entries available. This was my room growing up. It's hardly recognizable now. My old things have long since been stowed who knows where. It's mostly empty, save for some odds and ends. I finally will myself out from under the covers, throw on some proper clothes, and head to the common room. Good morning, young man. I have biscuits on the hearth, and potted eggs on the table. What's potted eggs? Fresh cream in the pitcher, sugar cubes in the jar. Wow, where do you get sugar from? Thank you so much, Gran. I gave her a good morning embrace, and she squeezed me as tightly again. An impressive and gentle vice grip. When she steps back, she's suddenly all business. Now, I've already fed Hazel her breakfast. Once the dishes are done, I'll tend the herd and clean the stable. Gran, why don't you let me take care of all that? You don't need to run the farm all by yourself anymore. She sighs and shows her stubborn streak. It's not in me to ask for help. Times are hard, and everyone has enough to worry about already. I don't want to burden anyone. Not even you. If this farm becomes too much for us to handle, it's always an option to give it up, to sell, and join your mother and father in the city. Nonsense! Haven't you seen Clarkson's farm? Are all creatures great and small? Farming life. Except all creatures great. I mean, all creatures great and small is largely farming life, but it's the vets, you know? Good show. British. But I guess the main character is Scottish. Anyways, this is your home. We'll make it work. So, how about it? Sergeant Malcolm Campbell, reporting for duty. Well then, soldier, I suppose we could use some things for the week. Perhaps you might go to the market for me today? It's a start. I wink and nod towards breakfast. I better eat fast then, if I'm to beat the crowds. I chew and guzzle until the empty plate rattles, and the cup and pot have not one drop left. You're an angel, Malcolm. Also, you'd put the cream in the tea or coffee, right? You wouldn't just drink cream straight, right? Anyways, laughing, I stand up, shoulder an old overcoat of Granddad's, and give Gran a peck on the forehead. And don't you forget it. I'll be back soon, Gran. I set off across the meadow to the stable. My boots lose their footing a few times in the wet mud, the mist still setting in the air. Outside, the sun is cresting the hills across the loch. It is edged in pink, and I find myself muttering an ancient rhyme. Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. I thought it was also sailors. I'm not sure why red sky... Is it like blood has been spilt that night? The red sun rises. Blood has been spilt this night. But elf, red sun rises every morning. Anyways, passing the herd, I hear cuds chomping and droopy lips baying. Lips? Gran told me we have 36 head of cattle, but from here I can only count 20 or so. Is her count off? Or was it just a wee bit of reassurance through exaggeration? Opening the stable door is harder than I remember. I steel myself and try to get a grip on the damp wood. Horse. I'm kind of wondering if this horse is actually a lady. Well, not just a lady horse, but a horse that has become a lady or a lady that's become a horse. Anyways, as the door slides open, I see Hazel standing impatiently in her stall. I'm reminded of the difficulty Gran and I had stapling her before we retired last night. Morning, my grumpy friend. How was your first night's stay at the Chateau de Campbell? She snorts. Poor Hazel. Now in the light, I can see the drafty old stable is much worse shape than the homestead. Sunlight beams through the countless holes in the rafters, patching the barn's roof, yet another chore to prioritize. I'll find our accommodations for Miles. Don't you worry. We'll take care of this place together. It'll be shipshape soon enough. Her head rolls dramatically as she flicks her mane off her eyes. She apparently isn't amused, but I can't help but laugh. Oh, come on now. It's not that bad. Now, let's get you hitched to the cart. It's market day today, and we've got a lot to pick up. Hazel nudges my chin with her velvety muzzle. I nestle onto it, and my hands and arms reach instinctively to her cold head. I hold my creature, listen to her nicker into my chest, watch bellows of her breath float in the frigid air, and smell the damp hay in the stable. Then her head bugs back in a plucky toss, nearly knocking me to the ground. So that's how it's gonna be, eh, Miss Hazel? So be it. A strong woman has never bothered me. I like 'em big. I'm not sure about horse big, but, you know. Get a treat at the market? I don't know much about horse training, especially if the horse might actually be a lady. I mean, she does seem intelligent, so let's be like, hey, we'll treat you right with treats. I remember the drill manual I was issued and its section on horse discipline. It worked well enough for all the good it did us once we were dismounted and dug in. Those who act with inhumanity, they obey. Those who act with inhumanity, they obey reluctantly. Those who treat them well are always repaid by obedience and ready action. Alright, I get it. You still don't trust me. I'll tell you what, if you behave, maybe we can find you a special treat at the market. How's that sound? Hazel's eyes me skeptically, but noticeably calms as I carefully fasten her saddle. Atta girl. That's more like it now. Now, time to get on the road. My god, riding her was much easier than riding a horse in Red Dead Redemption 2. She doesn't all of a sudden buck to the side or not go in any direction. Hazel is not too thrilled about towing a small cart, but she only bugs a few times on the ride to town, so I consider it a success. Everything seems happy now. The square is already bustling with activity when I arrive. It's the only market this side of the loch. People have flocked from all corners of the Vale to stock up on supplies. The morning air is full of sounds of animal carts, women quibbling over prices, children fighting or screaming with delight, and old men drunk on early beers and life. I tie my mare to a post and dive into the fray. My first stop is the millinery booth, since I realize I don't have the proper hats to wear out in public or in the fields. Millinery. I glance down at the milliner's wares. It suddenly dawns on me who's standing behind the cart. It's a little mousy girl. I wonder if she's a mouse. I mean, you see 3 pictures of ladies and none of them are her. Oh, hi again. Hi there. I wonder if every girl in here is actually some kind of foey. What a pleasant surprise to meet you again. She fidgets with the hat a bit, burrows her hands into her coat pockets and blushes. As you, are looking to buy a hat? Yes, I was looking to get something sharp. Do you have any recommendations? Well, flat caps seem to be popular. So are you talking about those plaid ones there? Comfortable? I would say so. What about the one you've got? Oh, this was custom made. It does fit you quite well. Her blush deepens even further. Thanks. You know, you look good in the green one. I think it matches your eyes. Then that's the one for me. I try on the green wool cap, placing it right on top of me head. It's a wonderful fit. I have to agree, it's very comfortable. I hope it looks good as it feels. That it does. I start fumbling around for some pocket change, and a few coins spill loose on the ground. It takes an effort to bend down and scoop them up. My back protests from yesterday's long ride. You know, I don't think I've had a chance to properly introduce myself. My name's Malcolm. Is she gonna change or not be there? And my name's Murdoch. That's right, fine cap you picked out there. Yours for just 5 shillings. Oh, yep, someone else is different. The gruff voice makes me jump. Standing and turning back to stall, I see the girl's gone. In her place is an older gentleman. Hello. Yes, this be the one, please. I'd like to thank the girl who works here for her suggestion. As he pockets my coins, he scrunches his beard face into a puzzled expression. Be begging your pardon, lads. What girl? She was right here a moment ago. Oh no, the little girl turned into an old man. Or maybe she might be a ghost. I don't know. Or just somebody that just kind of doesn't actually run the stall but just was kind of around. I gaze across in the pool of market goers, and while I don't see the girl's hat bobbing among them, I do spot a few recognizable faces. A golden blonde with oval glasses stands out in the crowd. I believe it to be my childhood teacher, although she doesn't look a day older than I remember. The cheesemonger, on the other hand, is just as old as I remember. His grizzled hands are barely strong enough to cut a wheel, and his eyebrows are so long I can't even fathom how he sees. Cheesemonger. Then, there is a withered boy hawking newspapers. It's a morning, out of a woolen basket. He has grown from the tiny young one into a sickly-looking boy. Poor lad. I hesitate to approach any of these folks from years past. Who's to say they know who I am anymore? I dare say I hardly know myself. Then I see a young woman, arms piled high with groceries, cloth, and assorted sundries, moving through the crowd with a purpose. Her arms tremble under the weight. Instinctively, I reach out to catch a sack of flour before it hits the ground. Ah, new character. Ah, I'm so sorry. Not a problem. Wouldn't want you to lose that. The teetering sack is stable again. For now, she manages to produce a smiling frown, ripe with humor, dismay, and impatience. Thanks. I usually have help on market day, but my sister decided to make themselves scarce today. I am struck by the freckles unevenly distributed among her cheekbones. The dark green blouse she wears makes her red hair glow like a racing sun. She's grown, but her voice isn't changed. It's certainly her. It has to be. Marion? Marion McLeod? As soon as the question leaves her mouth, I fear I may have made her uncomfortable and surprised. Perhaps she does not recognize me. Noticing her inability to shake her hands due to the overabundance of packages, I squirm, shake my head, and start to apologize. She straightens up and adjusts her goods, looks me dead in the eye, and extends one hand. I am Marriott. Her handshake is firm. She squints at me, perhaps because of the bright sun. Then her face breaks into a smile. Malcolm? She sighs with relief. You're home. The wind blows across the familiar face, no longer that of a girl I knew through childhood, but of a woman she has become. She steps towards me, as if to offer an embrace, but it's too boggled down with groceries to do anything but stare at me wide-eyed. Her visage is warm and youthful, but her eyes have a maturity beyond their years. Back, and still in one piece, thankfully. How are you? Your sisters? Grace and Jessie? We're all still managing to make ends meet on the homestead. We're still neighbors then. And your parents? I catch myself. Your father? Her mother passed when the girls were young. I should have remembered before I spoke. Father is still away. He's overseas, serving an officer. We're tending the place ourselves. Your hands must be quite full with that. She laughs and shifts her weight again, obviously still struggling under the load. In more ways than one. Sorry. It's one of those reading yawns. I had better get back to my errands before I drop any of these. It's wonderful to see you again, Malcolm. Please, stop by our home anytime. All of us can catch up. It's been too long. She nods a farewell and turns back towards the fray of the market. We get over to help with the things. Was that bad of me? I mean, I am, I have British heritage. Or is it English? So it might be a bit weird for me to do that. Because, British and Irish, or was it English and Irish, haven't really gotten along. Only just a little bit of squabbles. There's nothing like the troubles. Anyways, bad jokes aside. Seeing an old friend wrestling with all those unwieldy supplies breaks my heart. Say, Marion, do you want an extra set of hands for the day? She turns back around, perhaps caught genuinely surprised by the offer. I hope I'm not embarrassing myself or her. I have to help. Wait, I have to help with your shopping if you need. Seeing as your sisters aren't around to help you. Really? That's very generous of you. I mean, if you're sure you're not in a rush or need it elsewhere. Of course. What's good neighbors to do? Well then, yes, thank you. It would help tremendously. Once your goods are evenly distributed between us, we set off. We start at the cheesemonger, where Marion fills the sack with Bonchester wheels, Teviotdale wedges, and Crowdy curds. He hands us a large sample of fresh double cream kabak on warm oat cakes. Much to my delight, the salty and sweet flavors burst into my mouth. Tasty? Wait, tasty? A few crumbles fall from my lips as I nod, and she laughs. It's been a few years since I've had anything that good. Just wait till you try Flora's jam biscuits. Come on. Marion takes a hold of my arm and guides me to meet Flora, the local baker. While I ogle the breads and pastries at the market stall, Marion coaxes a few samples from us. Flora hands us some sugared biscuits. I take a bite, and they're indeed heavenly. I do all the baking at home, but the jam biscuits I get here are so delicious. They just melt in your mouth. Oh, so good. I smile, barely able to contain the pleasure. Ooh, it's been ages since I had sweet treats like this. Now, I'm gonna take you to the tailor. To let my pants out? Am I already fattening up? No, silly. To add pockets to your coat and pants. To fill them to the brim with biscuits and treats. Ah, so you are trying to beef me up a bit, eh? No. I just see how much you like to eat. You're definitely one of those food-eating people. Food makes your eyes light up. You learn to appreciate even the simplest of experiences once they're taken from you for any length of time. The crispiness of a cracker, the sourness of fresh cheese. I understand. Father sent a can of peaches home by post last autumn. Opening it was sheer delight for me and my sisters. Eating them together, we almost felt like a whole family again. The smallest moments form the biggest memories. It do be like that. She still smiles, but can tell she's getting a bit choked up about it. I motion towards the tailor stall. As it happens, I prefer a wardrobe that doesn't smell like Granddad's closet. Care to pick out something out for me? Sure, let's get you something from the 20th century. I'm always confused about that, because it's like, the 20th century starts at 1900. Is it 1900? 1900. And the 21st century starts at the year 2000. And, goes to the... No, wait. The 21st century starts at the year 2000. Because it do be like that? Well, I guess the first century would start at year 0. It do be like that. Marion and I end up smiling. Finding a simple but smart ensemble for me. It fits well enough for something not made to measure, and a light cotton shirt protects me from the scratchy wool coat. After that, we leisurely peruse up and down the vendor carts. I try to remember to get what I came for as well. Building supplies, barn tools, a few things for the pantry, and of course, a healthy supply of treats for Hazel. After a quick stop at the cobbler, where Marion picks up a few pairs of repaired boots, we at last stop beside her horse along the edge of town. As she loads up the saddlebags, she looks at me laughing. I don't think I've seen anyone our age so excited to go to the market. I find it so mundane most days. Huh? I'm actually surprised at myself too. I reflect back on a morning of mirth and relaxation, two emotions I've not experienced in some time. Happy to help anytime. I'll take the new routine over the old one any day. Old sights. Yep, old sights. But I can handle that. Somebody yelling yee-haw? They must be from the west. The sun is high, and the market is finally winding down. Marion finished securing her supplies precariously to her horse. Other people are doing the same, about to set off for their long treks home. And then there are a handful of people drifting into the Stag and Annie to top off the tank before our journey. Well, Malcolm, I think that'll do it. I really appreciate all the help. Where are you headed to now? Well, I'm gonna be heading to the Stag and Nanny. Let's see. I best begin home to to Gran. I might stop by the pub. Somewhere in mind. Okay, so I'm wondering if this is kind of like maybe the choosing part of the game, where it's like, well, where it's like, hey, horse. I'm not sure if the horse is somebody to pick. I mean, we're at the 56-minute mark, so this might be a time to call it. And look at the things. How do you spell it? A changeling. Okay, I just spell this wrong all the time. The Art of a Changeling Tale? Okay, maybe that will get me in the general vicinity of the game. Because it's on Steam. There it goes. It just doesn't appear for some reason. Damn it, Steam. So let's see. It looks like the flapper is the wolf. This girl here's the cow. There also seems to be some kind of like water dragon. Lots of horny sex. Though maybe their magical, mystical stuff hasn't happened. Okay, I'm looking at the girl who's the water dragon partially, but I don't know who she is. But anyway, stop looking at porn. Yeah. End of this quick look. Sorry, I was looking at GamerWolfSix. So, if you want me to play this game, tell me, and I'll put it up higher on the list to play. Well, they have chapters. 1 of 5. Okay. And please comment. Guys, I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks. Otherwise, if you like me YouTube and like to grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out this epic grow. And please remember to spend your ammo so I control the pit population. And if you want to play this game, there's a free demo on Steam. I think you might be able to get it somewhere else. Let me just quickly look it up. It's also on itch.io. DRM free and Androids. And it's pretty much $20 on itch.io and Steam. Is that everything else? Yeah, so if you want me to play this game, tell me. I think that's everything, pretty sure. And sorry, somebody was calling me, so I should probably check that out. And until next time. Another quick look. I guess we should do that random number generator thing. Oh, I should probably add those things to the list as well, because there's a few more things. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, let me be sure I have all the ones... new ones that are here? Endless Labyrinth of the Night Roads. And with both eyes closed, we'll just add that. Or at least placeholders for them before we do the random number generator. And is that all of them? Oh yeah, Beacon Pines, I guess. Okay, now that we have a list right there, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Random number generator, tell us what to do. Also, it's nice to have a furry game when talking about this game that is straight, because hey, I like gay stuff, but it's nice to have, you know, straight stuff for once. You know? Okay, so it's number 1, and number 1 will be actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, number 1 is BP, Beyond Petroleum. What was BP? Beacon Pines? Okay. Did we get that one on Steam, or did we just have that on the list? Oh yeah, we did get it and downloaded it. Yeah, a friend recommended it, so I was like, yeah, okay, I'll check that out. Anyways, until next time, another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix, and some other game. So thanks. Was there anything else I was looking at? I don't think so. Thanks and see ya.